Good afternoon and welcome to Skedline, live on Tuesday, March 12th. I'm Clemens Go, and here's what's making news for today and across your week. Investigators are looking into flight recorders and other evidence for Flight 302 that crashed in Ethiopia on Sunday. All 157 people on board were killed, and 18 Canadians were identified in the wreckage. Aid workers, activists, and families were some of the individuals headed to Nairobi. The plane crashed just minutes after takeoff, making it the second crash for a Boeing 737. So far, other 737 flights have been grounded by airports in Ethiopia, China, and the UK. We also have a breaking update from the Skedline newsroom that German airlines have grounded their 737 flights as well. In Ontario, plans are being made to ban cell phones in public to school classrooms. Starting in the new 2019 school year, students will be expected to keep their phones off and away during class hours. While it hasn't been made official yet, sources say it's part of an election promise by the PC Conservatives in 2018. Some officials also broke past House rules to say the ban could also have exceptions for accessibility. Skedline reporter Michelle Ramos is also following this as she reaches out to local school staff about the upcoming ban. Later, you can also find that on our website. U.S. Democrat House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says U.S. President Donald Trump isn't worth an impeachment in her Washington Post interview. She reflected on Trump's time in office and criticized his methods, but says there aren't any plans to remove him anytime soon. Pelosi was also known for her previous concerns on George W. Bush, but took no action for impeachment. Skedline reporters Michaela Pereira and Natalia Yurieva covered a protest in Queen's Park where parents rallied against the Ford government's plan to reduce benefits for Ontario's autism program. You can see their video coverage on our website after the show. And in Etobicoke, reporter Carrie Ann White is speaking to people at Humber Lakeshore about the college's sexual health services. Her story will also be over on our website later. And with an unusual story in Calgary, a scorpion made its way onto an airplane where it bit a Toronto woman. Earlier, she felt something move down her back and took a sting from the small creature. Originally, a flight attendant believed that it was gum wrapper. The passenger, Quinn Maltese, jumped out of her seat and was treated by paramedics at the scene. They also put a heart monitor on her because she couldn't calm down. Maltese has no serious or permanent injuries. Lastly, Skedline reporter Fatima Beg has the updates on a story that touches on school closures and deciding on whether or not they would have a snow day. You can find her story much later on Skedline. And that's your current news for this week and today. Right now, we go to Vanessa Gomez for your latest on entertainment. Vanessa?
Good morning. I'm John Law with Skedline News, bringing you the sports rundown.
It is Tuesday, March 12th, and here's what is making news in the entertainment world today. The 2019 iHeartRadio Music Awards takes off Thursday night in Los Angeles. Live performances include Alicia Keys, John Legend, Halsey, and Ariana Grande. Cardi B leads the awards with 14 nominations. Drake follows her with 8, while Ariana Grande, Post Malone, and Maroon 5 hold 5 nominations each. Watch Thursday's live ceremony on Fox at 8 p.m. London, Ontario is preparing for Sunday's 2019 Juno Awards. Presenters of Canada's biggest music night will include Tessa Virtue, Rick Mercer, and Tanya Talaga. Live performances will feature Arkells, Bahamas, and Nap, among others. Watch the full show on CBC starting at 8 p.m. on March 17. Disney dropped the new trailer for Aladdin this morning, featuring the songs Friend Like Me and A Whole New World, which are part of the original movie. Aladdin arrives in theaters May 24th, starring Naomi Scott as Princess Jasmine, Mena Massoud as Aladdin, and Will Smith as the genie. The date for the last episode of The Big Bang Theory is finally here. The 1-hour series finale airs May 16 on CBS, marking the end of the award-winning sitcom. However, The Big Bang Theory war will continue with the prequel series Young Sheldon. Captain Marvel, the latest hero movie starring Brie Larson, collected $455 million on its opening weekend, making a historical debut in the box office. The new movie is now the 18th biggest weekend opening of all time. That is it for the entertainment news today. For skedline.com, this is Vanessa Gomez. Now here is John for today's sports.
Good morning. I'm John Law with Skedline News, bringing you the sports rundown. The Leafs fell to Tampa Bay last night, losing the game 6-2. The game quickly went in Tampa's favor with 2 goals from Tyler Johnson and 1 from Anthony Cirelli, both tipping shots in from the high slot. Followed up by a goal by Andre Platt, making it 4-0. This prompted coach Mike Babcock to pull goaltender Frederik Andersen for just the second time all season. The Leafs were able to respond with a couple goals from their own Austin Matthews and Connor Brown, but it wasn't enough to come back. The score of last night's game isn't the only thing Leafs fans are talking about this morning. Leafs GM Kyle Dubas has pledged to help the NHL investigate the possible use of a homophobic slur during last night's game. The NHL has dealt with incidents like this in the past, notably suspending Chicago Blackhawks' Andrew Shaw for a game and fining him $5,000 for making a homophobic comment during a game. The Leafs weren't the only Toronto sports team in dire straits last night. The Raptors faced off against longtime rivals, the Cleveland Cavaliers, losing the game 126-101. With LeBron James no longer in Cleveland, fans expected the Raps to finally overcome their Cavs curse. However, this did not seem to be the case, as at the end of the first half, the Raptors trailed by 4. This gap was widened to 14 after the third. Toronto's Serge Ibaka and Cleveland's Marquese Chriss were ejected from the game after an epic brawl broke out in the third. As a repeat offender, Ibaka has been suspended for 3 to 5 games. The Cavs have ended up cementing their lead in the fourth by 25 points to win the game. The NFL free agency is in full swing, and already several big deals are reported to be in the works. The Oakland Raiders have signed offensive tackle Trent Brown to a massive $66 million 4-year contract. They also picked up receiver Antonio Brown from the Pittsburgh Steelers. The New York Jets are looking to beef up their defense by signing 26-year-old linebacker C.J. Mosley to a 5-year, $85 million contract. They also picked up Anthony Barr and Jamison Crowder. The Jacksonville Jaguars have picked up a new QB, signing Nick Foles for $88 million. They hope that the deal will give them the offensive edge the team has been sorely missing for the last couple of decades. For Skedline News, I'm John Law, keeping you up to date in the world of sports. Thanks for tuning in.